Medical Technology Advancements by Alyssa Esparza and Jason Gonzalez. Summary: in war there will be casualties. Medical treatments back then were lacking in diagnosis and lacked the knowledge of dosage. Many men fell to casualties because of improper treatment to injuries and diseases. 11 million soldiers died to disease. Today, soldiers injured in the field, or if they catch a disease, have a better chance to live compared to the medical technology of World War I. What was the involvement of medicine during World War I? During World War I, there was a great need for cures and medication. When they went into the war in 1917, there was not any medicine corps to help. Although there were new medical technologies that were made to keep up with the pace of the war, like blood transfusions and X-ray equipment, there was always a need for more. What they did have to help were things like the Thomas splint. This helped secure broken legs. They also had shock treatment for wounds like we still use today. 4 contributing factors for different medical advancements during World War I are antiseptic wound treatment. Through there being such terrible wounds in World War I, it introduced the understanding of wounds. Post-traumatic stress disorder. The knowledge of post-traumatic stress disorder has grown over the years, but existed during this time period. Learning that cleanliness helps not spread infection. This was discovered when so many soldiers were getting trench fever, and they needed to know why it was spreading. Shock treatment for wounds. For bad wounds, this helped prevent death from an electric shock. 4 consequences. Adaptations of diseases. Like humans, diseases can adapt to change its tolerance for antibiotics. Eventually, the disease will be unaffected by an antidote. Increased costs with new medical treatments. This means there will be a bigger compensation for treatment or medicine. Negative results. New medical technology has been known to save lives. Many of those treatments come to a high risk of failure to patients, such as treatments like chemotherapy or radiation. Although it could potentially cure a patient's disease or condition, it could also have unknown side effects. Invasion of privacy. With new technology, patient records could be kept electronically through EMERS. While this is convenient, it also offers the possibility for misuse, which could lead to loss of personal information as well as privacy. How did medical advancements impact World War I? World War I was a controversial war because of new technology in weapons, but also medicine and medical treatments. There were significant advancements in vaccination and treatment to physical injuries. At the beginning of the war in 1914, 80% of soldiers with broken thigh bones died. The use of new treatments such as Hugo and Thomas's splint meant that by 1916, 80% of soldiers suffering that injury survived. Also, the first ever ambulance of military personnel was improved to help carry multiple injured compared to transporting injured soldiers one by one. This advancement ensured the survival of injured soldiers. What was the result of medicine on trench fever during World War I? Trench fever was a disease that spread in the trenches during World War I. Symptoms include sudden fevers, loss of energy, intense headaches, skin rashes, pain in the eyeballs, dizziness, and muscle aches. It was treated in World War I by giving the soldiers M&D, medicine and duty, and by giving them Pileno.9, which was a laxative. Today we have achieved a better treatment and diagnosis of trench fever. Today we have achieved a better treatment and diagnosis of trench fever. Today it's diagnosed as Bequintana and is treated by prescriptions of 100 milligrams of doxycycline. It can be cured within 2 weeks compared to the 48 days back in 1917. Who are important people, places, dates to know? Robert Jones, also known as Sir Robert, was a general inspector for orthopedics in the military. Jones played a big role because he was the main leader responsible for rolling out its use on the battlefield during World War I. Hugh Thomas was a huge impact on survival rates, though a cure called the Thomas splint. This helped with the process of healing a broken leg. Before he invented this, 80% of people were dying from a broken femur bone. Were there any unique situations or events related to your topic? What we found unique through our research of medical advancement was the process of how the soldiers were taken to be treated. They went through 6 steps before getting true help. First, the stretcher bearers came to carry the soldier. Then they went to regimental post. Then they were taken on a motor ambulance, which took them to the casualty clearing station. The soldier was then put on a hospital train to arrive finally at their destination, base hospital. What is the significance of your topic to World War I and or the future of our country? Without the advancements of medical treatments, soldiers and civilians could die of the common cold. World War I introduced vaccines, medical rehabilitation, and amputations. This helped soldiers in World War I to survive physical injuries and diseases. Not to mention how these discoveries have advanced into today. If a soldier gets their hand taken off in battle, they can get it amputated with a robotic hand. If a soldier breaks a bone, they can go through medical rehabilitation to get back into the feeling of using the damaged limb, and the use of medical drugs such as penicillin can help get soldiers back to full health from most diseases.